Patrol News. I am Kuya Bryce. For today's headlines, calamities increase worldwide due to climate change. A closer look at the latest calamities that struck here and around the globe. Uncovering the link of Philippines' geographical location and encountered calamities. FIVOC's Undersecretary warns the public about tsunami. Devices used in disaster monitoring. Ways in disaster preparedness. On our poll, question: what government agencies do you subscribe to for disaster updates? Participate in our interactive opinion, newsroom, or Ion as we ask you, are you prepared? Give us your comments on how you prepared for a calamity. Good day, Philippines. Scientists say that the world is experiencing big increase of calamities over the past 5 decades. They are linking this to climate change. Patroller 1 tells us more. The United Nations World Meteorological Organization, or UN, WMO, has recorded more than 11,000 disasters covering 50 years period. These unfortunate events caused great and sudden damage relating to $3.64 trillion, economic losses, and over 2 million fatalities between years 1970 to 2019. The WMO's atlas reflected this data in their online website. Disasters are generally labeled as natural types and man-made or technology types. The organization currently focuses on the man-made types, which are further subdivided into one weather system, such as tornado, hail, hurricane, tropical storm, thunderstorm, and lightning, and ice storm. Number 2, movements on Earth's surface, such as earthquake, flood and flash flood, landslide, and debris flow, tsunami, and sinkhole. Number 3, increasing Earth's temperature, such as water storage, drought, and wildfire. And lastly, number 4, other phenomena, such as arterial diseases and pest and emergency diseases such as pandemic and COVID-19. Scientists warn the public that as global temperature have risen in recent decades, there has been significant elevation in the number of disasters related to weather and water extremes movement in the Earth's crust and surface, increasing temperature around the globe, and other natural disasters. They call upon all countries to make collaborate efforts in fighting climate change. In general, they highlighted that we can stop climate change in our own little way. This is Patroller 1 reporting from the United Nations. Back to the newsroom. Around the globe, there have been 518 total natural disasters since January of this year. Let's see the actual numbers from Patroller 2, live from Belgium. I'm at the Center of Research on Epidemiology of Disasters, or CRED, here in Belgium. I have gathered the data of the calamities the world has experienced for this year alone. Here's the data. Let's check if the total tally exceeds 500 marks. What is the total number of calamities worldwide for year 2021? From first, uh, first, from first to third quarter. Quarter one, quarter one, 175. Quarter two, 170. Quarter three, wala yung 173. Quarter four, I mean 3 lang. So what is the total of five, 6, 7, 8? Seven, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That was a joke. I put one there. Oops. Sorry. Just kidding. One. One, two. 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5. Oh. Look at all of these things. Yes, it is confirmed that this year alone, the CRED had recorded over 500 natural calamities worldwide. Researchers here took further steps in partnering with international government and several organizations to support the emergency preparedness and response of every country. They believe that working together will decrease the natural calamities in the years to come. This is Patroller 2 reporting from Belgium. Back to the newsroom. Thank you, Patroller 2. Still more news after the break. Philippines is experiencing an average of 20 typhoons every year, 5 of which are destructive that affects infrastructure and human lives. On basis, the Philippines did experience an average of 20 earthquakes. Most are not felt. The country's location makes it weak to natural disasters. Controller 3 discuss more on the relationship of the country's location to our frequently experienced natural disasters. The Philippines is an archipelago located in the Pacific region that is surrounded by bodies of water. It sits along the western Pacific basin as the world's busiest typhoon belt. Typhoons are formed when cold air moves in below moisture from wind and meets the warm water. This creates pressure, causing the wind to spin around quickly. The eastern portion of the country is viable for typhoon formation. The Philippines is prone to tropical cyclones due to its geographical location. Generally produce heavy rains and flooding of large areas. Disastrous situations such as sea level rise, storm surges, landslides, and flooding are commonly experienced due to the rainy season. Here's a rundown of the 5 deadliest typhoons in the country, claiming 38,000 lives in total. The Philippines is in the Ring of Fire, which is also referred to as Circum-Pacific Belt. This ring or belt is a string of volcanoes and sites of seismic activity or earthquakes around the edges of the Pacific Ocean. The path along the Pacific Ocean is characterized by active volcanoes and frequent earthquakes. Its length is about 40,000 kilometers or 24,900 miles. It runs from the Pacific Juan de Fuca, Cocos, Indian, Australia, Nazca, North America, and the Philippines. 5 fault systems run within the Philippines, namely Western Philippine Fault, Eastern Philippine Fault, South of Mindanao Fault, Central Philippine Fault, and Marikina Valley Fault, with the running faults and active volcanoes, frequent earth movement and activities such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis are often experienced. Here's a rundown of the 5 deadliest earthquakes in the country, claiming 5,119 lives in total. Though the country is experiencing devastating casualties arising from typhoon and earthquakes, the government continuously took efforts in minimizing these effects by incorporating this in several laws and memoranda. This is Patroller 3 reporting from the Pag-asa Center. Back to the newsroom. After the break, we'll have VVOX Undersecretary Renato Solidum Jr. for our Man in Mission. For our tech news, we'll have a glimpse of the gizmos used in detecting calamities. Lastly, we'll give you tips in responding to natural calamities. In our featured news, all of that when we return. Philippines rarely encountered devastating tsunami but still exposed due to presence of offshore faults and trenches such as Manila Trench, Negros Trench, Sulu Trench, Cotabato Trench, Philippine Trench, and East Luzon Trough. Let's listen to the press conference with FIVOX and Secretary Renato Solidum Jr. for our Man in Mission. During the press conference for World Tsunami Awareness Day 2019, FIVOX Undersecretary Renato Solidum Jr. warned Filipinos to be aware of all earthquake hazards caused by ground shaking, including those coming from the water area, specifically tsunami. He emphasized that we should learn our lesson from the 1994 Mindoro earthquake and tsunami.
Lalabas kaagad lahat ng assessment. Okay? Gaano kalayo sa fault? Potentially ba magkaka-landslide, tsunami at iba pang mga panganib, babahin ba o magkaka-landslide at so on. Tandaan nyo lang po yan, i-introduce mamaya ng ating kasamahan. So, what can we learn from the experience? We need to know the various hazards related to the earthquake at yung mga fault na dapat huwag tayuan ng bahay. At marami po sa inyo tulad ng nauhan na naghanda na ng signage na ilalagay para imarka sa ground kung nasaan yung fault at huwag tayuan. Yung mga coastal communities should know the signs of a local tsunami, shake, drop, and roar. Importante po na ma-implement natin ang ating building code. Baka hindi pa umaabot sa probinsya and LGUs. Yung memorandum na sinay ng DPWH, DTI at DILG na hiigpitan ngayon ang implementation ng building code, pati na rin yung mga materialis na ginagamit. Marami po mga bahay na D4 lang ang hollow blocks. Masisira po yan sa lindol. Disaster activities should be based, or your preparedness should be based on what can happen. So nagpakita na po ako ng mga senaryo, and kailangan po talaga mag-focus tayo sa komunidad para maganda po sila sa tsunami at iba pang panganib. Let me just show you this. Narinig niyo po ang usapin sa Department of Disaster Resilience. Pero baka hindi alam ng marami, at pati rin sa national level, ano ba ibig sabihin ng resilience? Ang karamihan ng Pilipino, resilience ay madaling bumangon. Yun ang ibig sabihin. Makakabangon ka lang kung hindi ka patay. Makakabangon ka lang kung hindi ka masyadong baldado. So hindi lang makabangon ng resilience, kundi hindi ka mamatay o hindi ka baldado. Reduce the risk before the disaster. And then you have to have an effective and efficient disaster response. So ang ating kung sinusulong sa administration, approved ng Presidente at Cabinet, preparedness and response magkasabay. Hindi pwedeng hiwalay ang preparedness, hindi pwedeng hiwalay ang response. Wala pong gano'n na hiwalay, dapat magkaroon to. Pagdating sa local level, sabay parati yun. Timely and efficient recovery. So let me give you an idea of what needs to be done at your community level. This is the resilience diagram. Ito pong line pataas. Ito po yung state of your community or your company or school. The horizontal line is the timeline after a disaster. Ito pong star is hazard event like an earthquake or a typhoon. If you're a resilient community, handang-handa kayo, merong konting temporary stoppage ng inyong operation sa munisipyo, but then eventually, immediately after, magre-resume ka ng operation. If you're not affected and you can resume operation right away, you're called a resilient community. However, many communities in the Philippines are still not resilient. Pagdating po ng disaster, bagsak siya, babagal ang kanyang kilos, wala siyang plano, at darating uli yung panibagong disaster. Parang bagyo, sunod-sunod. Ilang suntok, hindi na makabangon ng komunidad, and that is a community which is not resilient. What we need to do is make sure that your communities would be what we call the transformed community. Na kung saan, na-disaster nga kayo, pero kayo ay nagbago at natuto sa mga lessons na nangyari noong unang panahon, and you can make your communities much better prepared in the next disaster. Palagay ko naman, yun po yung hangarin natin lahat. But at least, alam nyo na kung nasaan kayo ngayon dyan, at alam nyo na kayo ay dapat pupunta dito sa transformed community and become a resilient community. Yun po lang ang kailangan natin. At kung ito po ay gagawin nating hangarin, yun po ating natutunan ng 1994 Mindoro earthquake ay hindi mawawalan ng saysay. We should learn from past events. We should learn from mistakes of other communities so that your own community will suffer less. You have more people saved, your economic development will not be affected. So yun po ang kailangan natin. Learn from the 1994 Mindoro earthquake, persist to be resilient, make Oriental Mindoro a progressive province and your own communities. Maraming po salamat sa inyong lahat.
Live from Vivox Center, Patrol number 4 reporting. In our tech news, let's look at the instruments that experts uses in monitoring incoming calamities in our country. Patrol 5 will also uncover some apps for you to be aware of disaster such as typhoon and earthquake. I'm here at the Science Center. We'll take a look at the instruments commonly used in monitor occurrences of typhoon and earthquake. Meanwhile, seismographics are instruments used to record the motion of the ground during an earthquake. They are installed in the ground throughout the world and operated as part of a seismographic network. It gives a Richter scale which measures the magnitude of an earthquake. A Richter scale was devised in 1935 by American seismologist Charles Richter and Benno Gothenburg. With these proper instruments at hand, the scientists and experts may provide considerate warnings for the public to be prepared for any incoming disaster in the country. For Tech News, Patroller 5 reporting. For our featured segment, we will take a look at the do's and don'ts during a disaster. Here's my report. This is my go bag. We're gonna put all of these things in my bag before the disaster is coming. Let me introduce you these go bags. A cloth. Bag right there. Oh. First aid kit. Oops. Batteries. Important documents. Flashlights. Water. Medicines, canned food, and the flat canned food, of course, phone, and final charger. There are four major calamities that Filipinos should be prepared, and those are typhoon, flood, earthquake, and tsunami. Let's start. Before typhoon, monitor the news for weather updates. Monitor the news for weather updates, warnings, and advisories. Know the early warning and evacuation plan of the community. Check the en- ent- integri- integrity of your house and repair weak parts. Prepare your family's go bag containing items need for survival. Put lives, livestock and pets in safe area or designated evacuation site for animals. When notified immediately, go to the designated evacuation center. During typhoon, stay alert and stay tuned. Stay calm, stay indoors, and tune in for latest news and weather updates. Turn off main electrical switch and water valve. Use flashlight or emergency lamp. Be cautious in using candles and gas lamps. Stay away from glass windows. After typhoon, remain alert and be cautious. Wait for authorities to declare that it is safe to return home. Stay away from the fallen trees, damaged structures, and power lines. Do not go sightseeing as you may hinder the work of the emergency services. Be cautious in checking and repairing the damaged parts of your house. Check for wet or submerged electrical outlets and appliances before turning on the electricity. Throw away rainwater in cans, pots, and tires to prevent breeding of mosquitoes. Flood before flood. Mm. Know the hazards in your area. Monitor the news for weather updates, warnings, and advisories. Know the flood early warning and evacuation plan of the community. Participate in community flood preparedness actions and drills. Secure your home and move essential furniture and items to the upper floor. Before evacuating, turn off the all main switches of electricity, water, and LPG tanks. Put livestock and pets in a safe area or designated evacuation sites for animals. When order is received, immediately evacuate or to higher and safer grounds during during flood. Stay on higher grounds. Stay indoors and stay tuned for latest news and weather updates. Flood. Do not do not touch electrical equipment if you are wet or standing in flood water. Do not go swimming or boating in swollen rivers. Do not cross streams and water when water level is already above the knee. Don't walk or drive through flooded area. Af- After flood, stay alert and keep safe. Leave the evacuation area only when authorities say it is safe to return home. Report fallen trees and electrical posts to proper authorities. Check or check for wet or submerged electrical outlets and appliances before turning on electricity. Check your house for possible damages and repair as necessary. Make sure that the flood and water for drinking are not contaminated by flood water. Throw away rainwater in cans, pots, and tires to prevent breeding of mosquitoes. Earthquake countermeasures at home. Check if your house is prone to earthquake hazards. Assess safety of your house using the dust Vivox. How safe is your home? Identify the safe and unsafe spots in your house. Secure shelves and appliances and furniture to the walls or ceiling. Make sure that fire extinguishers and emergency supply kits are accessible at all times. Prepare family evacuation predictor. Know the community evacuation plan. Walk through the nearest route and going to evacuation area. Open space. Create a communication plan designated a relative or friend outside of your area to be contacted. Keep update community emergency contact numbers such as police and fire stations, hospitals, school, barangay hall, and others. Before earthquake, know the hazards in your area. Familiarize yourself and with earthquake hazards. Know the evacuation plan. Check the nearest exit routes and route going to be to identify evacuation area. Prepare your house or workplace. Inform members of the evacuation produced and let everyone participate during drills. Learn to use the following first aid kit: fire extinguishers, alarms, switch off water lines, gas tanks, and circuit breaker. Check your house and have it repaired if necessary. Store harmful chemicals and flammable materials properly. Store heavy furniture and hanging objects. Prepare your family's go bag containing items needed for survival. Participate in office and community earthquake drills during earthquake. When inside a building, stay calm. Response during the shaking, drop cover and hold on or stay in a safer part of a room. Duck under a strong table and hold on to it. Stay calm and alert for potential threats. Watch out for and stay away from the following falling objects: glass, windows, shelves, cabinets, and other heavy objects that may cause injury. After the shaking stops, exit the building and go to a designated evacuation area. When outside, move to the open area. Stay away from buildings, trees, electric posts, and landslide-prone areas. If near shore, the shore, move quickly to higher grounds. Move away from steep slopes. Stop if the move stop stop if inside a moving vehicle and next exit the vehicle. Do not cross bridges, overpass, or flyovers. Tsunami. Before tsunami, know the hazards in your area. Know if your area has potential threat for tsunami. Know the location of the evacuation site and fastest and safest way to go there. Participate in community tsunami preparedness actions and drills. Plant mangroves and trees near the shore. Prepare your family's go bag containing items needed for survival during tsunami. Know the signs of an incoming tsunami. Earthquake that is strong enough to be felt. Sudden drop or rise of sea water level. Roaring sound of incoming tsunami. Stay on higher grounds. Do not stay in low-lying coastal area. After the strong earthquake, move to higher ground immediately. Never go down the beach to watch or take a picture of the tsunami. After tsunami, stay alert and keep safe. Leave the evacuation area only when authorities say it is safe to return home. Stay away from the sea unless authorities say it is already safe. Check the missing persons and report it to authorities. Bring the injured and sick to the nearest hospital. Check for wet or submerged electrical outlets and appliances before turning on the electricity. Check your house for possible damages and repair as necessary. Hope you have learned from these tips in preparing for typhoon, flood, earthquake, and tsunami. This is Kuya Bryce reporting. And for our final word, a quote from Petra Nemkova. We cannot stop natural disaster, but we can arm in ourselves with knowledge, so many lives wouldn't have been lost if there was enough disaster preparedness. And that's the news for today. I am Kuya Bryce. Keep healthy and keep safe.